Hello, hello, hello. What is going on, guys? We are coming to you live. This is actually the finals here. The finals of the Season 2 ladder Flesh and Blood TCG. This is going to be for the overall championship of this ladder season. This is the tournament at the end. We have Will versus Reezy. And Will playing Dorinthea versus Reezy playing Dash. Will is the top seed and has chosen to go first. Likely trying to get some potions out and set up that big twinning blade situation, as I believe he is playing the twinning blade strategy that was popularized recently by Matt Rogers. Draws up his first hand, doesn't see those potions. So it might not be what he most wants. Could go for an aggressive play with a route. We see a very defensive hand there from Reezy, though. Let's see what happens as Will leads us off with Dorinthea here. Okay, let's see here. Looks like he's going to go for a pitch blue Warrior's Valor swing down blade for 3. He has 2 floating. There is a route in hand, so if we see a single card block, that route could come out, push some damage through. We could also just see it being used even in this situation. So I think it's at least somewhat reasonable to use the route here, just to try to go up to 6, send a card back, and maybe you even play that blue Iron Song as well, and then arsenal the Singing Steel Blade. I'm not entirely sure, I think he's just going to try to push damage through as best possible. Looks like the defense reactions are going to be in play, though, to come out and stop his attack, but at least he managed to get his opponent to use one of those defense reacts. Now, Reezy passes on the Sink Below effect, which slightly surprises me. I sort of expected he would have used it on Mechanologist Shockwave there. Will may be thinking about his options and whether or not to try to push for more damage. He could play more. He could play more reactions here. I personally think it is maybe better to just arsenal the Singing Steel Blade, and that is what he goes for. So, probably not the most successful first turn he could have hoped for. Didn't manage to get the damage through, but at least he got a defense reaction out of his opponent's deck. Those defense reactions are pretty crucial in this matchup. All right. So then Pistol Shot coming in for 2, and it is going to be blocked by a blue Iron Song response, and then we see the Induction Chamber being used to give it go again. Then there's a pitch loading up those items and following up with a Zipper hit for 5, boost not being used, so this is just going to be 5 damage. And I think that Reezy will then Arsenal Fate for Scene, so didn't get his items set up or anything. Still a pretty strong turn, though, in terms of throwing out a good deal of damage. And Will is going to have to think about how he wants to defend against this. It looks to me like what Will is most likely going to be going for is playing the Flock of the Featherwalkers that he has in hand. So he could, for instance, pitch the red Iron Song, play Flock, leaving the blue Iron Song in hand to give him some fuel for the next turn. And then it would also keep that red Iron Song coming up for a later time. However, he's going to have to decide whether or not he wants to take some damage in order to do that. So normally, if you're playing a more aggressive Dorinthea style in this matchup, you really don't want to block very much at all. But given that I think Will is trying to go for the setup, it may be a little bit of a different situation. Ultimately ends up taking the damage, which I think is likely what I would have done. And Reezy draws up, doesn't see any items or any copies of Spark of Genius, so we aren't yet going to see Mechanologist fully rigging up here, but it's going to be interesting. And yeah, so Will goes for the play that I was describing earlier, where he's going to be pitching his red Iron Song and playing the Flock of the Featherwalkers, revealing the blue Iron Song. So this Flock of the Featherwalkers is a pretty strong card, coming in for 5, and he reveals a card in his hand with cost 1 or less, and creates a Quicken Aura token that will allow him to get a Go Again. We see a single card block coming out from Reezy, so 2 damage getting through. Ooh, and now quite powerful options here. Quite powerful options here for the next turn with these hit and runs and another Flock of the Featherwalkers. We'll see what happens. Ooh, that is painful. After an initial pistol shot for 2, Reezy plays a high-speed impact and uses boost, only to hit a Command and Conquer. So the boost does not land, and he's lost a Command and Conquer, which is one of the stronger cards that he has access to. So definitely, I think, not what he was hoping for there. Blocking 1 with the bolters there. There aren't really that relevant on-hit effects in this matchup, so using the bolters there for the block makes a lot of sense. Let's do some shout-outs, by the way. Shout-out to Diddly Barracuda, Peter Pan 49395, Chrometics, Croupy, Wolsney, Snoopy X _ and T Games and Star Stuff, who have all followed this channel since the last broadcast, but before this broadcast. Shout out to you guys. So we're going to see the classic Flock of the Featherwalkers into Flock of the Featherwalkers combination. So he plays a Flock of the Featherwalkers here, which is going to get him another token, and it has Go Again because of the first one. So he's going to have Go Again on his next attack after having done this. Going to be blocked by a zipper hit, so 2 more damage sneaking through. There's a pass, and now he has that Quicken token again. We're going to see a pitch into a Dawnblade swing. He has 2 energy floating. This does have Go Again, and if this connects, he's going to be able to play the red hit and run that he has in hand and do another powerful Dawnblade swing itself with Go Again. The thing is, though, there's a good chance this is just going to be counteracted. No, we do see a block from hand. So this would actually be a good time maybe to go for the Twinning Blade, I feel. So he could do... he doesn't quite have the energy for it, actually. So he does want to land that hit. We could see a Singing into Red Iron Song, which would get in for 1, and then he can play the hit and run and do another swing for 6 Go Again. I think it's pretty likely that that's what we're going to see. If he had a little more energy, we would maybe see a Twinning Blade play here into the hit and run. But I think he's going to go more for the raw power instead. And we'll have to see how it turns out for him. I think that defense reaction in Arsenal is going to more or less negate this, and we're going to then going to see a rather boring turn from Reezy, but we'll have to see exactly what choices the players make here. And yeah, it is going to be that Red Iron Song. Now the shuffling there negates the fact that he had pitched the Red Iron Song for use later in the game, so he's going up to 7, and he is going to currently hit for 1. Reezy's considering his options. So one thing that he could do, I personally think in this situation, the best move is probably to use that defense reaction. He actually opts to take 1. I think he's thinking, oh, maybe my opponent's only going to swing for 3 and I can just stop it with the card. But now we're going to see that red hit and run coming out and the remaining resource being spent, so it's actually not 3. He's coming in for 6 with Go Again. Now, the Go Again isn't going to do anything at this time, but the fact that this attack is coming in for 6, so the hit and run here, normally it just gives Go Again, but if you've attacked with a weapon this turn, it also gives a stat buff, this red one giving a +3, so this attack is coming in for 6. Now, Reezy could stop it, but he's going to have to either use his card in hand plus substantial armor, or armor plus, or okay, so he goes for the armor plus the Fate Foreseen there, and so that way he saves more of his armor for later. He does lose the Fate Foreseen in Arsenal. I almost wonder if it would have been better to use the Iron Rot Gauntlets as well, and then block with the card and just skip your next turn. But I think he's probably going to go for some pistol shots here to try and chip some damage through and slow down his opponent's aggression. Some strong combinations in hand there for Will with the Twinning Blade and the Spoils of War. In this situation, it would almost be worth it. I think it actually probably would be worth it to block with Courage of Bladehold and use that discount ability, because then you can do... I don't know, maybe that's not really worth it, but he could have done pitch singing, play spoils, swing, 1 floating, potentially use Twinning Blade for another swing if it gets heavily blocked. If it doesn't get heavily blocked, sneak in with the Iron Song response. I think this might have been a good opportunity to block with Courage of Bladehold and then use it, given that he didn't. Given that he didn't, in fact, block with Courage of Bladehold, I think it's probably not really going to be very worth it in order to go for that here, because you really want to get the full value out of that card. So Courage of Bladehold, you can block for 2 at first, and then you can destroy it to make your sword attacks cost 1 less for the turn. It does have temper, though, so if you defend with it, you put a -1 counter on it when the combat chain closes and destroy it if it has 0. So while you can block for 3 total, first one block for 2 and then 1 block for 1, if you do this, you lose the chance to use the ability. Normally, the way that we see this being used is that a player will block once with it for 2, and then will use it later on so that you don't waste the armor when you destroy it for the ability. So now, he ended up not doing that, though, so he's just going for the Spoils of War into the Dawnblade, so it's coming in for 5 with Go Again. Spoils of War, classic card from Crucible of War, maybe one of the best cards, maybe the best card from Crucible of War for Warrior, in fact. 1 cost, next weapon attack this turn gains +2 and Go Again. Whenever a weapon you control hits this turn, create 2 copper. Gonna be a double block. Red Iron Song being played from hand here for the +3. If the defending hero has defended with a card from their hand, this chain link target weapon attack gains +3. But we do see Sink Below coming out to counter it. The actual text of Sink Below is not all that relevant. He does cycle out his card, but he's mostly just switching. Now, interestingly, his other card was another defense reaction, and I'm kind of surprised that he chose to cycle it out here, because I think that I think it would be, wow, very odd hand. We're seeing the first potions there for Will. I suspect that he'll be using those potions. He has, I believe, a Twinning Blade in Arsenal. Okay, so then Reezy says shoot twice, counter on chamber at the end. So yeah, just doing that a little faster. Reezy still hasn't seen any of his items, which on the one hand has been somewhat good for him in terms of not taking as much pressure, because those items do have a big downside, and the downside is that they don't block. So if the warrior's putting pressure on you and you have a bunch of items in hand, it can be dangerous. But on the other hand, he really wants to see those items to set up and start doing more powerful turns. He's had some pretty weak turns where he's just done 2 pistol shots, and Will is behind on life. Will is behind on life, though, because he's not been landing his attacks for much damage. I think we saw 1 damage get through from that sword attack earlier, and then we did see, I think, 2 damage chipped in twice by each of those copies of Flock of the Featherwalkers. Wow, giant block. This actually is wild. So I think this is the chance. So he can use Twinning Blade and break through here, and the question is he going to go for the Twinning Blade breakthrough now, or is he going to just accept the overblock, play an energy potion, and save it for a later turn? That's the question here. Now, the thing is, I actually think it might be better for him. I actually think it might be better for him to save it. I don't know for sure. It's a tough call. So if he goes for the Twinning Blade now, he can break through, but he'll have to use his Refraction Bolters to do it, I believe. And I guess that's not even guaranteed, though. Yeah, he's thinking about it too. So the Twinning Blade could allow him to swing again. Then he could come in with another Dawnblade swing. If that's not blocked with the card from hand, he would be able to then use his Refraction Bolters to get another Go Again, spend 1 for the Bracers and 1 for another swing, coming in for 4. And his opponent doesn't have enough armor to stop that with just armor, so it would have to use the other card from hand to prevent the Dawnblade counter, at which point it could be hit by the Overpower. But the problem is it does use up those bolters. I think he decides he's going to hang on to it and try to get a more powerful turn later. Twinning Blade is a lot better when you have something like Steelblade Supremacy, which he just drew. Wow. Oh man, I think Will has got to be pretty happy about his decision not to play that Twinning Blade now, because he just drew into one of the core combos that this deck is trying to do. He's going to be able to pitch a blue Overpower, play Steelblade Supremacy and Spoils of War, and then swing, and if it gets heavily blocked, and his opponent draws a very awkward hand with 2 unmovables and doesn't have the resources to play them. This looks like a prime opportunity for Will to make a major breakthrough in this game. Reezy has been staving him off and inflicting chip damage with those pistol shots, and overall life totals are quite unfavorable for Will, but Reezy hasn't had his items, and now I think it's really going to be Will's opportunity to unleash some huge damage. Yeah, Spoils into Steelblade Supremacy into Swing. This is a classic combination for this deck. So this is going to be Spoils +2 and Go Again plus the Copper. Supremacy +2, and whenever it hits, draw a card. So coming in for 7 with Go Again, and if this hits, he will get 2 copper and a card draw. It's going to be quite awkward, especially with this hand, for Reezy to defend this. And ironically, he sees a Stroke of Genius for the first time. This is a core card for Mechanologist. This is a dash specialization card that's going to allow you to get your items out faster. But unfortunately for him, he sees it at a time when he can't really do anything with it because he doesn't have the energy and he has a ton of block pressure coming in. So we're going to have to see what happens. But I think this is going to be Will's opportunity to score a breakthrough. Very awkward timing there. Very awkward timing there for Reezy with the unmovables in hand. Unmovables in hand, but bad energy to actually play them. Looks like he is going to go for it, playing the red unmovable to block 7. So that is going to shut down the attack. But here comes Twinning Blade. And so I do think that... Now, I do think that Reezy is going to be able to actually stop this because he's going to be able to use... he is going to be able to use his armor and the Fate Foreseen to deny the hit. But it's going to be a turn where he does just nothing. So, tough situation. Blocking with this that and the Fate Foreseen. So, he does manage to avoid his opponent getting a big breakthrough. Now, interestingly, if Will had used Courage of Blade Hold, he could have actually broken through here by having the energy potion to actually play the blue overpower. He didn't end up doing that, so he didn't get the a big breakthrough, but he did take out some powerful defense reactions and put himself into a situation where he is now going to have a lot more tempo as his opponent has no cards. And now we see, this is actually some unfortunate timing for Will, though. We see Reezy with an awkward hand. 2 items in hand mean that his ability to block this turn is very poor, but Will has drawn a somewhat non-aggressive hand himself. I think this is going to be an opportunity for Will to use the Refraction Bolters to try to push through. The only problem, he just has such awkward, he has these big attack reactions that he can't really play, but he does still have his potion. So maybe it's not as dire as it looks. Yeah, I think I pitch route here and swing. Pitching route and swinging, coming in for 3. He will have to use the Bolters this turn, I feel, but that is going to be a key moment. So no block. I think we're going to see pass attack reactions, Bolters used. Yeah, so 3 damage getting through. Refraction Bolters being used here. When your weapon attack hits, you may destroy Refraction Bolters. If you do, the attack gains Go Again. So then he's going to pitch the Twinning Blade, use the Braveforge Bracers, and swing, coming in for 4. And if this one hits, he will get his +1 counter. So if Dawnblade hits and it's the second time it's hit this turn, put a +1 counter on Dawnblade. Getting that counter can put you into a much better state with respect to overall aggression and so on. So he's going to try to get that. And a bit of an awkward spot here for Reezy now, who doesn't have any defense reactions at this time, having already spent quite a few of them. His armor is a little depleted. He only has 2 cards in his hand that he can even block with. It's going to be a double block, blocking 6, and he throws in the Ironrot Gauntlet as well to block 7. Now the thing is, Will can actually break through here. He can use his energy potion for 2 energy, and then pitch his Out for Blood, play the red overpower, +6, and that's exactly what happens. So red overpower, target weapon attack gains +4. If the defending hero has defended with a card from their hand, this chain link, it's an additional +2. So it goes up to 6, and that means the attack is at strength 9. I'm sorry, the attack was strength 10 because of the bracers. So then that was a hard hit there. A hard hit there for Reezy, who is now going to be at... he's now going to be facing off against a Dawnblade that has a +1 counter. It looks like he's going to go for a pistol shot, probably going to use the induction chamber and then play the second induction chamber here. Yeah, that's exactly what we see. So he manages to inflict a bit of damage and finally get a second item set up, another induction chamber, allowing him to have more pistol shots with Go Again. And it's going to be pretty interesting here to see exactly how it goes. Now, Will is stuck without an option to give his attack Go Again. He doesn't have an option for go again. But he does have the option, some options for just like pumping up his numbers here, just playing things that are going to give him bonus stats. And additionally, if Reezy actually quite wants to stop this Dawnblade swing because of the counters. Now, it's possible that he'll just say, you know, whatever, I want to play that Stroke of Genius and get even more items set up. I'm just going to let him hit me and keep his counter. Especially if he thinks there's a glint in hand, but it is kind of risky to let Warrior have those counters. The life totals are getting closer. It's 22-29. Both players have taken substantial armor damage. Actually, Will has a little bit more armor left, but only if he chooses to use his courage for the second block instead of for its ability, which actually strikes me as rather unlikely. Interestingly, there is a chance that Will could use that Stroke of Foresight and find a glint on the top of the deck or a Singing Steelblade that could then get a glint. No block from Reezy, so I think that means we're going to see at least one, maybe two of these attack reactions played just for stats. So the Razor comes out, and so that's going to be a +3. So target weapon attack with cost 1 or less gains +3. Target sword or dagger weapon attack gains +3. And so that's going to be a hit for 7. The players are now on equal life. And Will chooses to arsenal his copy of Stroke of Foresight to try to get a better attack later. Now, Reezy is going to try to do a little setup of his own here. Going for a pistol shot, a induction chamber for the go again. He's going to pitch more, load, fire. Uses that, and then he's going to play the Spark of Genius from hand. No, he's not. He's going to pitch the Spark of Genius. Wow. Really? Okay, really surprising to me. I thought he was going to do... I guess he had spent more energy loading up his stuff than I realized, so he's actually going to pitch the Spark of Genius and then do a unboosted zipper hit. Coming in for another 5 damage. He's trying to push damage through. He's not really set up, but I think he sees that with the low life totals, he's going to try to like race a little bit here, which is interesting. It's going to be a tough situation for him though, because Will has that counter and has a pretty good setup here. So I don't know. I think it's dangerous. Racing against Dorinthea is typically considered a very risky move because of those Downblade counters and the high amount of armor the warrior class has available. And Will is going to accept the idea of a race here, blocking 2 using his armor and not doing anything else. And we see a decent hand here from Reezy, but no defense reactions available. He has another Spark of Genius, but he might forgo using it again. Maybe just trying to block up. It's going to be a tough spot. So there's a fair amount of attack reaction available. Let's see. Yeah, so I think in this turn we're probably going to see pitch blue overpower, or play red hit and run, pitch blue overpower and swing for 4. Then he can potentially, we might even see hit and run use courage, swing for 4. That way he could pitch the blue overpower to play the red overpower, and if it gets blocked up, he would still be able to play the energy potion. Yeah. I think that's what he's doing. I think it's going to be Courage, or the Time Snap Potion, rather. Courage, Hit and Run, Dawnblade 4, and yeah, now he can pitch the blue overpower to play the red overpower if needed. And he still has the time, and if he does that and it gets stopped by a defense reaction, which isn't going to happen because there isn't a defense reaction, but if it did happen, he would be able to play out his Time Snap Potion. So interesting choice there, and we're going to see what happens. It's pretty dangerous. It's pretty dangerous here for Reezy. A Dorinthea coming in with a buffed up Dawnblade for 4 and 4 cards remaining. Yeah, Dawnblade for 4 with Go Again and 4 cards remaining and Courage is live. That is not exactly a safe situation to be in when you're facing off against a warrior. So I think this is going to be an interesting conundrum here for Reezy. He's going to go for a block. Blocking 9, 10. Oh man, so he overblocks to stop a potential red overpower or route, blocking 10. But the crazy thing is, we could actually see this attack get in anyway because we could see pitch time snap. Yeah, we could see pitch time snap, play red overpower, and then pitch the blue overpower and play the stroke of foresight. Um, Yeah, so we're gonna do red overpower up to so red overpower taking it up to 10, which matches the block, and then stroke of foresight to get in over the block, coming in for an additional 3 damage. And he sees a Spoils of War, which is a great card to have. Is gonna leave it on top. Um, so 3 damage getting through, and it has go again. Dorinthea's ability will trigger, allowing him to swing again, and then whoa whoa whoa. So a little bit of a glitch. Yeah, so then he uses the Brave Forge bracers to get +1. Sorry for that lag, guys. Some kind of glitch that was causing the life counter to count down more than it should. So he ends up swinging with a buffed attack from the bracers for 5. Reezy knows that he can't stop it, so he just takes the damage, giving Will a second Dawnblade counter. Oh, but now, a moment of weakness for Will. He does have some powerful cards, but he doesn't have anything blue. This is going to be a dangerous spot, and this could be what Reezy needs in order to get the advantage. Right now, he's facing off against a powerful Dawnblade, and he doesn't have a lot. He doesn't have a lot on his side for this. Ironically, if the Courage of Bladehold had been withheld, this turn would be a lot better here for Will. The fact that he used it there and gained that optionality for the time stat potion, I think ended up not being to his advantage, but it might have been a good play to make overall. You don't really know what your opponent's going to have. He's got to think now. I think probably what we're going to see is a pitch into Red Warrior, like, I don't know, pitch something, Red Warrior's Valor, pitch and swing, and then you have one card left. If he blocks it, which he probably will, you put that card in Arsenal. Not a great situation, and could be exactly what Reezy needs. It was looking, I think if Will had a blue in hand right now, he would be in a very, very strong position moving towards the end game here. But it looks like the lack of energy here may foil him, I feel. And then another pistol shot coming in for another 2 damage. I think Will's probably just going to eat it because I think he really wants to try to maintain whatever tempo he can. So probably we're going to see pitch. I think most likely pitch spoils for red. Yeah, I think most likely pitch spoils for red Valor. Pitch one of the attack reactions. Probably pitching the Razor. Pitch Razor for the swing. There isn't any special defense in hand, so that's going to be awkward for Reezy, but I do think he's probably going to be able to stop this attack, and Will is going to lose some tempo. On the plus side, though, because he didn't defend, he's going to be able to Arsenal something. In this situation, yeah, if that Warrior's Valor was a blue, Will would be in a very different and much stronger position. But it was not, and that's how the game works sometimes. Let's see if he can recover from this awkward draw. So as expected, he's going to pitch spoils for the Warrior's Valor, and then he's going to pitch the Razor to do the swing. So this is going to be coming in for a total of 8. And if it hits go again, so if Reezy lets this in, Will is going to be able to just pitch and swing for another 5. I think Reezy almost certainly blocks it. The question is just how much he blocks it. If Will had... So the thing is here, if Will had energy... This would likely be a dump your whole hand block. The question is, how worried is he about a potential Iron Song response? Is he going to dump the hand? He doesn't dump the hand. So it's going to be a triple block, and he maintains one card, which will let him get some attacks in. A little risky to do that. There is the chance of getting hit by an Iron Song response that will mean those counters stay on, which would be very bad for Reezy. But ultimately, Will not quite able to put on the pressure. Draws into a pretty strong hand for this next turn, though. Oh, man, this is going to be an interesting one. We could easily see pitch Glint, play Warrior's Valor Red and Steelblade Supremacy and swing. I think that's actually quite likely going to be what we see. And it looks like he's going to just eat these pistol shots in order to set up that attack. Now Will is getting dangerously low. This is a close game. And I think he's going to eat these 2 pistol shots. Because he needs to keep the pressure on as much as possible. Ooh, there's an Unmovable in hand. Oh man, that Unmovable comes at a good time, but at the same time there is also a Teklo Core which doesn't block. However, the Teklo Core could be pitched to play the Unmovable. That might be just what Reezy needs here, but we'll have to see. It could be a tough one nevertheless. I think we're going to see a strong attack coming in. Warrior's Valor Red plus Supremacy. So next weapon attack this turn gains +3, and if this hits, the attack gains go again. Until end of turn, target weapon gains +2, and whenever this hits, draw a card, plus the base Dawnblade attack for 3, coming in for 8, and with powerful on-hit effects. And this is going to be a tough situation again. Tough situation again here for Reezy to figure out how he wants to block this. So, yeah. 8. He really, really, really does not want this to hit. If this hits, it's horrible for him. Yeah, if this hits, it's going to be very, very. I mean, this could be. I mean, this could decide. This could just be decisive. This could decide the game if this attack hits, and Will gets the card draw and comes in with another strong attack. Yeah, the card draw and the go again riding on this hit. And so not only is it a lot of damage, but if this one lands, he'll get the go again and the card draw, allowing him to do even more aggression and quite possibly either close out the game or gain a huge advantage. It's going to be critical to see how things play out in this attack. So the total is 8, but Will can potentially buff it for another 3. So he could go up to 11. Which means that I think we have to see a full block here. Yeah, everything. Everything comes out. Both cards and the Unmovable. So that's going to be a total of 6 plus the Unmovable for an additional 7. That's going to block 13. And that means that there's no breakthrough coming for Will. Reezy has successfully stopped the huge turn, but he has lost all his tempo in doing so. And now Will is going to have a 5-card hand with which to make his next attack, and he draws into some strong stuff again. Another Warrior's Valor Red, and he has some good attack reactions. Now there's another Unmovable on the other side of the board. It's going to be interesting here to see what happens. Still definitely some interesting reaction games being played here. Bit of a mistake there to pitch the blue Iron Song, I feel. I think it would be more correct to pitch Glint in this situation. I guess maybe he could do a Glint into Twinning Blade here, but I don't think it gets him that much. Yeah, I think you want to keep that blue Iron Song. I think that's a better card to keep than Glint, but I'm not sure. I could be wrong. We'll see if he has a cunning plan. He could very well be going for something like if he oh yeah. So no block, red Unmovable comes out, blocking 7. Oh, and this is exactly the situation where he should have kept that Iron Song. So he plays the red out for blood, and he goes up to 9, and then the yellow springboard from hand, taking that attack up to exactly 9, and now he's going to have to pitch the Glint and use the Singing Steel Blade here. I guess it's not that bad. No, it's fine. It's whatever. So he can do it this way. He just has to use that. It's a little awkward. It's going to be fine. So if he had kept the Iron Song, he could have done things a little differently. But this, you know what? This approach is actually better. I was wrong, because this way he's going to get more raw damage, and that's more important at this time. So he inflicts 4, and then he's going to be able to use his bolters and swing again. This is going to come in, I believe, for 5 because of the out for blood, and that means that it's not going to be able to be stopped. I mean, I guess 4 would also not be able to be stopped. And Reezy eats 5, and there's the +1 counter, 5 life to 5 life. This game is coming down to the wire, And Reezy did keep one card in hand, though, and is going to be able to do some pistol shots. Pitch. Shoot pistol. Yeah, so he's going to just pitch... yeah, pitch, shoot pistol. 2 shots. All right, and now it's... Oh, man, and there's a glint and a twinning blade in hand. A glint and a twinning blade in hand for Will. Is he going to do it? I think he can do it. I think he can just take the damage here, go to 1 life, and try to push through for the win on this next turn. He has Glint and Twinning Blade combination. He has... His other stuff isn't great, but I think you can do Pitch, Flock, Swing for 4. You have Glint into Twinning. Take the damage and go to 1. He does it. Oh, man. Can we see Will get the win? It's coming down to the wire. And there's an item in hand. There's an item in hand and an unmovable. It's going to be a little interesting. The block might be awkward here. The block might be awkward here. Yeah, that 1 armor left on the skull cap for Will is dead. Pitches, or for Reezy is dead. Will pitches the Flock of the Featherwalkers and swings the Dawnblade for 4. It's going to be down. I think this is going to be the decisive turn, one way or another. Are we going to see a double block? Are we going to see... Are we going to see a double block? Are we going to see... We're going to see anything blocking? Presumably we're going to see something blocking. Now, Reezy could actually say no blocks here. He could say no blocks. He wouldn't be taking lethal. Then if Will plays the Out for Blood to threaten lethal, he would have to get rid of his twinning... Oh, but it's a yellow unmovable, so it wouldn't actually block that. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, so if Reezy no blocks... Okay, so we see a single card block. Okay, so now it's going to be play Glint, getting the card draw. So that's go again and draw a card. Now probably we're going to see the unmovable. Yep, that's right. There's the unmovable. And it's going to be countered by Twinning Blade, allowing the next attack. And then I think this is going to put Reezy at 1 life. Because... Will is just barely out of range. He doesn't have the energy that he needs to play the buff in hand. So he's coming in for 4. Reezy can't block it. So he's going to take 4 and go to 1 life, and then the red Out for Blood into the arsenal. So Reezy clinging to life here. Will is going to have to block against Reezy's pistol shot on this next turn. We're going to see what happens here, but it's 1-1. We're down to the very bottom... Very bottom there, bottom of the barrel, so to speak, and Teklo Plasma Pistol used for the 1. So this needs to be a block. It's probably going to be a block with the blue Warrior's Valor. So Warrior's Valor, the blue one for the stats is bad. Yeah. Draws up. Oh, strong. Well, somewhat strong defensive hand from Reezy. He has 2 defense reactions available. This might be what he needs to stave off this damage this turn. Probably on Will's side, we're going to see a pitched Time Snap Potion into a swing for 4. As the Time Snap Potion is not really very useful here. Yeah, swing for 4, and he has 2 energy floating and some tricks up his sleeve. 4 damage being threatened. If even 1 of that damage lands, that's the game. This is not a great place to be in when you're playing against a warrior, but at least there are those defense reactions available. Just 1 more point of armor from Reezy would be very much appreciated here, as he could defend with 1 card plus a piece of armor. We could see him defend with 1 card. Yeah, I mean, let's see here. So you could double block with your normal cards. The problem is then you lose the cards that are best for attacking. Double blocking with the normal cards is the safest option, and that allows you to use your defense reactions to stop the attack reaction, potentially. Let's see here. Yeah, it just limits what he can actually do on offense. We'll see what happens. I think he's gonna go for the safe option, double block. Yeah, so double blocking with the normal cards. Probably the Stroke of Foresight played from hand, which can hopefully turn that blue overpower into something stronger for Will. Finding another blue overpower, not what he wants to see. Sends that one to the bottom. So now it's up to 7. So now we'll probably see the sink is used from hand. So that's going to put this block up to 10. And that is going to be enough to stop it. And on Reezy's turn, he's going to be able to arsenal his springboard somersault or take 2 pistol shots. The +1 counter falls off the Dawnblade. So if Reezy uses the pistol shots, will have to block twice. I think that's what he's going to do. I think the pistol shots here make more sense. That's exactly what we see. So pistol shot, and then he'll use the chamber, reload, and do another pistol shot. This is going to force 2 cards out of the hand. Probably, Yeah, I mean, this is guaranteed to use 2 cards out of the hand. Now, another question is Will playing the blue shunt? I believe he is not, but if he were playing it, this would be a very strong situation for it. Other energy used for another pistol shot. It's going to be another card blocking. Probably going to be so he's looking through his arsenal to determine what he has. If he has another red Iron Song, or I'm sorry, he's looking through his discard pile rather. If he has another red Iron Song, he probably wants to block with the Razor Reflex here. If he doesn't, he probably wants to block with the Singing, I believe. But I could be wrong. Just in terms of threatening big numbers. This has been a very interesting game. So Reezy could have decided to just arsenal the springboard, but I think it wouldn't have been worth it because he's taking 2 cards out of his opponent's hand with these pistol shots. The downside is now that his induction chamber is uncharged, he's going to be in a weaker position for future turns where he might be loading up and shooting. But he can still pitch a blue and do 2 shots, so maybe that's fine. 1 life to 1 life. This is really coming down to it. Smith Orr says, wow, what a tense finish. Yeah, you got it. Okay, so he blocks with the Singing Steel Blade. To me, that likely indicates that he's used all of his red Iron Songs. Let me make sure that that's true. Yep, looks like it. All red Iron Songs used, so the Singing Steel Blade would have been bad. It would not have been a +4. And then we're going to see a pitch into a Dawnblade swing coming in for 3, and he has 2 attack reactions, so this could go all the way up to 9. But I think actually the best option is going to be here for a triple block. I think the best option would be triple block, which is safe against 2 attack reactions. So if Reezy does a triple block, he's safe against 2 attack reactions, and then he can pitch and do 2 pistol shots, forcing another 2 cards out of Will's hand, and in theory this could repeat. So that would be a good situation there for Reezy, I think, and I suspect that's what we're going to see here. Now, on the other hand, if Reezy thinks that his opponent has, blue shunt, he needs to do something that is going to generate more aggression to try to win the game before his opponent sees it and kills him with inevitability. So the real question here is Will running blue shunt? If he is running blue shunt, he has inevitability. If he is not running blue shunt, then Reezy actually has inevitability with a block 3. Although there's the chance that Reezy will draw items that will prevent him from being able to do this full blocking game plan. He goes for the triple block, so that's going to be it for Will's turn. And now Reezy's going to have 2 pistol shots. It's going to get 2 cards out of Will's hand. And then we're going to see what happens. Unless we see the blue shunt, but I don't think he's playing it. Oh, no. And Will draws 3 potions in the same hand, and that is the game. He cannot block. He only has 1 card that can block. What a finale. Oh, 3 potions in hand, unable to block the 2 pistol shots. A unexpected ending to the game, but Reezy does prevail. What a situation. Wow. What a situation. I believe Will was not playing the blue shunt. Yeah, he was not playing it. So this isn't like a incredibly lucky situation that for Reezy that he didn't see it. But these 3 potions together, not good. And Reezy asks in the chat, any shunts? Will says nope. Yeah. This version of the deck usually doesn't play that. All right, well, Reezy takes the game after a crazy finale here. After a crazy finale, Reezy does manage to take the game. Very close one life to 1 life, but the 3 potions in hand wind up being Will's doom, and that is going to be the game. So congratulations to Reezy for winning. This is also, I believe, considered a matchup that favors Dorinthea. The setup Dorinthea deck, I think, is considered favored against Dash. So Reezy scoring a win in what's considered at least a questionable matchup, and he will be the champion of the Discord League Season 2. The Discord ladder, or whatever you want to call it. Now, I want to make a quick announcement. There is going to be a Season 3 of this ladder, and it's not going to start for some time. Will saying in chat that all red hand killed me. Yeah, so he lost substantial momentum there. And losing the momentum with the all red hand, he almost clawed it back, but couldn't quite do it. He was off by 1 in the end. If he had had 1 more energy on that twinning turn, he could have also gotten the kill. So very, very close game. Reezy ultimately taking it, but it was a tough one. All right, so then there is going to be another season of this league, but it's going to be delayed. The next season of this ladder is going to start once Monarch becomes available on Tabletop Simulator or in person, whichever comes first. And it is going to be allowing both ladder and webcam games. All right, so congratulations to Reezy for the win. That's gonna be the end of this. That's gonna be the end of this tournament. Very close game, fun one to end on for the finals there, and we'll be back later with some more Flesh and Blood content. So thank you guys for watching. And yeah, also shout out to Will. Will is actually the person who sponsored the prize for this season, which is I believe a box of Welcome to Rathe Unlimited, which Will is himself going to be sending out, I think, to Reezy. So if he had, had a little bit more energy, he might have, on one of those turns, he might have just kept his box, but it was not to be. So very interesting situation. Ultimately, Reezy gets it, but yeah, close game, interesting game, and yeah. That's going to do it for this season, guys. Thank you all for watching. We'll be back later with more Flesh and Blood content. And yeah, stay tuned for more.